Breaking: Congress just launched massive investigation into Barack Hussein Obama. One of the pallets of American taxpayers' cash Obama gave to his Muslim brothers. Republican leaders of the House Oversight Committee said Friday they have launched a sweeping investigation into whether the Obama administration is trying to win support for a nuclear deal and prisoner swap with Tehran last year undermined an ambitious U.S. counterproliferation effort to thwart Iranian weapons trafficking network. What does this mean? The Obama administration put U.S. national security at risk with his prisoner swap with Tehran last year to finalize the Iran deal. And the rhinos finally have the balls to launch a, quote, useless investigation. Look, anyone with half a brain knows that the whole deal, as well as Obama's entire presidency, is riddled with deals and policies that are completely detrimental to the safety of America. I'm not reading that part. Also, 13 Republican senators have demanded answers about whether the Obama administration jeopardized U.S. national security as a result of its protracted top-secret negotiations with Tehran, and then misled the American public when disclosing the terms of the two deals in January of 2016. Demanding answers will get us nowhere. Does the Hillary email investigation ring a bell? Or how about Benghazi and Fast and Furious? These blank are immune from any kind of justice. Now that we have a lot of Obama's corrupt appointees out, maybe, just maybe, we can start putting these bastards behind bars, but I won't hold my breath. The House and Senate lawmakers cited various portions of an April 24th report by Politico that found that the Obama administration, through actions in some cases and inaction in others, significantly hampered a much-touted federal law enforcement effort known as the National Counterproliferation Initiative at a time when it was making unprecedented headway in thwarting Iran's illicit weapons proliferation activities. From Josh Meyer at Politico. The Politico investigation also reported that during their public rollout of the two deals, Obama and other key administration officials downplayed the threat posed by the Iranian traffickers they were freeing as part of the swap that also freed 5 Americans held by Iran. The Obama administration officials focused their public comments only on 7 Iranian-born men in the U.S. whose convictions or prosecutions were being dropped as part of the swap, as described them as civilians involved in mere sanctions-related offenses, but not charged with terrorism or any violent offenses. In reality, many of the men and 14 other Iranian fugitives, not named publicly by the top Obama officials, have been accused or convicted of charges stemming from their alleged involvement in clandestine networks supplying Iran with parts and technology for its weapons, ballistic missiles, and nuclear programs, Politico reported. The Justice Department itself had characterized many of them as threats to national security, the investigation found. And Donald Trump tweets, "Our incompetent Secretary of State Hillary Clinton was the one who started talks to give $400 million in cash to Iran. Scandal." This was in August 2016. Prisoner swap. The men released and their alleged crimes. American prisoners released by Iran Jason Rezaian, born in Marin, California. Rezaian's father was an Iranian immigrant, which led to his own lifelong fascination with the Middle East and his ancestral home. Rezaian moved to Tehran to work as a foreign correspondent after college before being appointed bureau chief of the Washington Post in 2012, according to the BBC. Arrested by Iranian authorities in July of 2014, Rezaian spent 9 months in solitary confinement, reportedly suffering both physical and mental health problems. Tried in secret for espionage, he was convicted on October 2015, though no details of his sentence or the evidence against him were ever released. Amir Hekmati, an American of Iranian descent. Hekmati grew up in Flint, Michigan, and served as a U.S. Marine fighting in Iraq during the Second Gulf War. Imprisoned for espionage while visiting his family in Tehran in 2011. Hekmati was subsequently sentenced to death, though this was later overturned, the New York Times reports. He was then convicted of serving a hostile country and handed a 10-year prison sentence in 2012, which he was appealing before being released. Saeed Abedini, raised in Boise, Idaho. Abedini was a convert to Christianity who later began working for the church, eventually becoming a pastor. In 2012, Abedini was visiting his family in Tehran while also finalizing arrangements for a Christian orphanage he was due to build in Iran, according to the Be Heard Project. While there, he was detained by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard and spent time in solitary confinement, during which he claimed he was beaten and denied medical treatment. In 2013, he was sentenced to 8 years in prison for subverting Iranian security by creating an international network of churches. Nostratola Kosavi Rudsari was released alongside the other 3 Americans but chose to stay in Iran. Little is known about his background or his arrest. Iranian prisoners released by America now. Nadir Modanlo, born in Iran. Modanlo is believed to have moved to the U.S. in 1979 before studying at George Washington University and going on to become a mechanical engineer. His career included jobs at NASA and the Department of Defense before he was arrested in 2012 and accused of illegally providing satellite services to Iran. Prosecutors said Modanio or Nalo illegally brokered a deal between Iran and a Russian state-backed company to help his home country launch its first satellite. He was convicted in 2013 and sentenced to 8 years in jail, the Huffington Post reports. The next one, Bahram mechanic Turaj Faridi and Khosrow Afghani, Iranian-born mechanic, moved to America before making himself a billionaire through his Houston-based electronics company, Smart Power Systems. In April last year, Mechanic was arrested after the FBI accused him of being part of a procurement network shipping parts to an Iranian company he also owned to be used in their nuclear program. Also arrested was Mechanic's nephew, Turaj Faridi, who was serving as the vice president of Smart Power Systems at the time, along with business partner Khosrow Afghani, the Houston Chronicle reported. All three men were awaiting trial before they were released from custody earlier today. Nima Golstenek, an Iranian student in Vermont. Golstenek was accused in 2013 of hacking into the computers of an aerodynamics company to steal millions of dollars worth of computer software. Detained in Turkey, Golstenek was deported to the U.S. in February last year in order to face trial, pleading guilty in December. He was awaiting sentencing. Arash Ghahriman was born in Iran but came to the U.S. in 2006 after winning a visa lottery before settling in Staten Island, New York. Between 2012 and 2013, Ghahriman shipped military-grade navigation equipment overseas to Dubai, where it was collected by a front company for the Iranian state. Ghahriman was arrested after a string of Homeland Security agents accused of selling the devices despite knowing their ultimate location. In April last year, he was sentenced to 6.5 years in jail after being found guilty at the trial, SI Live reports. Al-Sabunchi, a U.S. citizen from Maryland, Sabunchi operated Ace Electric Company from his hometown of Parkville, north of Kansas City. Starting in November 2009, the FBI claims Sabunchi used his company to export industrial components to Dubai and China, where co-conspirators passed them on to Iran. In 2014, he was convicted and sentenced to 2 years in jail, a stretch he was coming to the end of before being released. Also released was Matthew Trevthick, an American student who also worked as a journalist in war-torn nations such as Syria, Mali, and Afghanistan, was also released by Iran today, though not as part of the prisoner swap. Trevthick, whose detention was not widely known about until today, had been detained in Tehran in December last year while he was there studying languages. What does this all mean? We got screwed big time. Obama released terrorists that were captured by our military, many of which lost lives in doing so, and the Muslims got a ton of cash as well. Epic failure. Obama is complete trash. Well, it's not like we didn't know about this, but you know, look, men released in their alleged crimes, yeah, it is a scandal. And all the taxpayer money, and how about the money we don't even know about? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.